All right, the last time I tried to do this opening, I was completely wrong with what number it was, but then I fixed it, and so now I get to say that number again because this time I'm right. So let's get into it. Take 87. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to find me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram and Threads at Piece4PeaceCrafting, or over on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. If you like music and you would like to follow the playlist that goes along with this silly little podcast, you can do so by following the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast playlist over on Spotify. If you have trouble finding that playlist, feel free to shoot me a message over on Instagram and I can send you the link. I do not send the link down below in the comment section because trolls. We can't have that in our lives. I think that is it. That is the little opening. Hello, everyone. How are you? It's been 2 weeks. I'm actually coming to you on Sunday instead of Saturday because life has been busy, but I'm happy to be here with all of you now. I thought about maybe, I'm actually even recording this a little bit later on Sunday, later than I wanted to, and I thought about maybe just like missing this week and then coming back to you all in 2 more weeks, so in a month, but I figure I had some time I could jump on. I could just sit down and record just the things that I have been working on since the last time we talked and at least get an episode out within the weekend that normally my podcast is supposed to come out. Just because I don't want to, just don't want it to be a big gap if it doesn't have to be. And so here we are. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm having a little afternoon mint tea. I hope you have some sort of beverage and you're ready to just sit and hang out for a little bit. I have some stuff to show, not too much. One other thing before we get started. In the last episode, I was talking to you all about the person who won the tufted rug that my friend made, and I never heard back from them. And I should have looked before I started recording this, but I didn't. I believe the person's name was Kelly. So if you didn't see the last episode, because the algorithm sometimes, and maybe your name is Kelly, go back and watch and see if your name gets flashed across the bottom of the screen. Or maybe you're catching it now and you're like, oh, I did comment 2 episodes ago and I really want it. Just reach out to me and I can send that to you. If I don't hear from said person over the next 2 weeks, then in the next episode, I'll make sure to pull someone else because I would love for that to go to a home that someone will hang it up and appreciate it. All right. The past 2 weeks have been crazy for me. I feel like I keep saying that every time I am here with you all, but we are crazily now toward the end of May, which means that school here in Chicago is almost out, and we have about 3 more weeks, maybe. We get out the first week of June, so whatever that is. I think it's 3 more weeks. We have 3 more weeks of school, so this time of year is always a little bit busy for us because we are wrapping up, programming. Schools are having like their last assemblies, and so some of our programs have, depending on what your after school program is, maybe you are a part of the assemblies at these schools. And so usually for us, because we're teaching some sort of dance after school program. Yeah, our kids, we have to put together something for our kids to do in their school assemblies. So my kids, they are kindergarten, first, second graders. It's like a mixed class after school, and they are doing a dance to Dance the Night Away from the Barbie movie. It was a lot of back and forth with them about what song we were going to use for our dance. A lot of them wanted T-Swift. I was like, these songs are not appropriate. Even though like I use all kids bop music with my students, I was just like, we're not dancing to a Taylor Swift song from like 2012. I'm not doing it with you all. Also, you're 6. How do you know this song? But their parents are probably Swifties. So we landed on Dance the Night Away from the Barbie movie, and that is a much better option. Really fun, and the kids are having a great time. So I think this week my kids have their performance at one of my schools, and so I'm really excited about that, because that once we have those performances, it's like, the program is almost over and summer is almost here. Other than that, my roomies did their last production for the season. So like, you know, their work schedule goes from like August to May. So they had their last program, and I love going to play cheerleader. So I went to go and see the program that they were doing 4 times in 2 weeks. So twice, 1 week, twice the next week. And that was really great. One of my roommates' family came out, which they're like my family, and so I got to hang out with them for about a week and a half, which was really lovely. It's always nice to see them, and yeah, just trying to keep focused on, you know, school is almost out and some crafting that is happening, and hopefully the weather is warming up, so like trying to be outside a little bit more. All the things are happening all at once, and so trying not to be overwhelmed. All right, so with that, I have a couple things to share with you all today. Yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I have 1 FO and 3 whips that I'm currently working on. And yeah, that's that. All right, my first thing is I finished my shorty socks. Oh, you can see that my tension was a little bit rough and rugged. These are Woolens and Nosh. These were the leftovers from my, the colorway was #Wes Anderson style. And these were the club colorway for January. And this, I don't remember the brown, what brand it was, but it's just a brown that I had in stash, and I thought it went really well with these. I'm actually going to end up using this brown for this same purpose for a few more pairs of shorty socks. So what I did, also you all, these look a little bit janky because I worked on these while I was in the theater, so while I was watching the show. So I was trying to do this in the dark, and if I'm being honest, for some reason, like I'm capable of just like knitting in the dark, especially stockinette, like I don't need to see it, but inevitably I will mess up the first 1 or 2 stitches. And so like at intermission, I'm like trying to drop down and like fix the laddering or whatever. So these look extra janky. Anyway, I knit all of my socks with a US 1, so 2.25 needles. I do mine toe up. Start with 14 stitches with a Turkish cast on, and then increase to 68 stitches. And then I knit until it reaches about 7 inches, 7 3/4 of an inch. And then I put my markers for my heel, and then I continue knitting. For these, I knew I wanted to make shorties, and I just, since I was doing them, I guess it really wouldn't matter. I have the Rose City Rollers pattern, which I don't think you can get anymore. And so instead of doing ribbing at the top, once I placed my markers for the heel, I just knit 15 rows and then bound off. So that's what's giving it this little rolled edge here. And they make like proper shorties. Like it's like this little curve part is going right under my ankle. Yeah, when I wear my sneakers, like you can barely even see them. So something that I learned from doing this, because as you can tell, they don't match like this. Wait, which one is it? Oh, this one. The pink happens and then the pink happens again because I just like, there was more in this ball. And so I just joined and kept going. I think for the next pair, what I will do, what I should have done, but I got a little too antsy, is I will cast on with the brown and then use the self-striping for the foot and probably the top of the sock, and then the heel and toes will be in a different color. At least that's what I'm hoping. We'll see with this pair that I'm currently working on. It all depends on how much of the yarn I actually use and where the stripes fall. But I'm enjoying these. They fit great, even despite the little blips on the sides. It doesn't matter. They're my socks. They're going in my shoes. No one's gonna see that. So that's that. That's the only FO that's not gonna go on the chair like I want it to. The only FO that I have. Let's get into some whips now. Let's continue on with the Woolens and Nosh parade. So did I show these last time? Maybe not. Okay, that's crazy. All right, so I am continuing on because that's what I do. I'm playing catch up. So I'm currently, for some reason, with all of my stuff, I can't find my February club color. And I feel like I've seen people knit it and it's like blues and maybe I think it's blues. Anyway, I can't find it. It's in this house somewhere. So I'm moving along and I'm doing my March colorway. And so this is Woolens and Nosh. And the color is called Spring Forward. This is on the Superwash Targhee. So that's 90 Targhee, 10% nylon. And here are those. So fun. Definite spring vibes. Like I want to dye eggs. These are just so cute. Also, it's my birthday month sock, so that's a lot of fun. Here's what it looks like in the cake. Just all wound up, so that's fun. I split the hank into two, and then I do the same thing for the mini. I just split it into two so that I can do them two at a time. And so, it'll be easy to show here. So for when I went to do the first round of caking it up, this pink was the first color. And so once I have it caked up and then I weigh it and then I just leave the cake on the scale and I'm winding so I can get about halfway. And so as I'm going, I just learn loosely what the repeat is. And so I knew once I got to this dark purple, I could stop. You know, like once the weight was about halfway and I saw this purple, I could stop and it would be at the pink, which means that for the second sock, they would line up and they would match. This green mini is so cute. I absolutely loves it. It's just so fun. So I am probably half a stripe away from putting in my markers for my heel, which means that the green stripe will go in between this little soft pink, which makes me happy. And then it takes me about 2 repeats to do the foot. And so usually I like to do the same +1 for the leg. So then like once the heel is in, if I were to fold it in half, it's about even. So these are about halfway done. I just have a little bit more to go on them. March colorway, Woolens and Nosh, love it. It's living in one of my first, if not my first, beautiful sister bag. Yeah, that I got at YarnCon in like 2019, it must have been. Anyway, it's a Chicago flag. So cute. I love this thing. I dug it out. I have a basket of bags. So I saw this one while I was looking for something else, and I was like, oh, I should use this bag. It's so fun. I should clean it though. But regardless, I love this one. It was my first. All right. Oh, I'm gonna show this because I just got it in the mail. And I just showed 2 other Woolens and Nosh things. So this is, if you don't have it, you can look away. If not, be spoiled. This is the May Club color. And this one, oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, here it is. Whoopsies. This one is called, I love this name. 1 second. It reminds me of some kind of bird. Maybe, no, excuse me, take 3. It reminds me of some kind of bird, like maybe a house finch. That's the colorway name. So all these fun reds and yellows and browns. And there's like a cream in there. I'm really excited to see how this one knits up. So this is May. So I have one more because I can't find February. It's here. It's somewhere in this house. I have to get through my April ones, and then I can cast on these May ones. And then I will find, hopefully, I'm hoping that I can get caught up by the time the next one comes. So that means I really gotta get a move on with my sock knitting. This one also too marks, I think, a year of me having this club. I think my first color was in May of last year, which is wild. So yeah, that means I have almost 12 socks because I can't find that one pair. Yeah, of club colors. So fun. All right, next thing that I have up is I made a little bit of progress on my Bolt sweater by Maxim Sear. And this is a pieced garment that also has some intarsia color work on it. So the last time I showed, I had just gotten just like a little bit into it. I am using, well, this is almost the end of, look at how sad this is. This is just some wool that I picked up at Rhinebeck. Here I have another one caked up so you can actually see this beautiful green. Yeah, I don't remember who these people were. It's the mystery yarn for me. Because they were just, it was like $5 a skein. We loved that. And then this is the Knit Picks Aloft. So this is their silk mohair in the color Labyrinth. I've used this Labyrinth color for like so many sweaters. I'm obsessed with it. All right, so here is where I am with that. So where my little charm is where I was last time. And I am now ready. I think I need to do 2 rows. I'm now ready to do the little shoulder shaping and binding off. So I only have like a couple more things to do, and then this back piece will be done. So like you can see here, this is the armhole shaping for this, and then the back will be done. I love the color that it's making. I think, you know, that Labyrinth color with any green that I use, usually it's like within a couple shades of this color family. Always gives me a green that I think is really beautiful. And so, yeah, this is, I mean, it's not really much. It's one panel. Once I'm done with this, I think in the pattern, it states that the next thing that I'm supposed to do is to start the front, which would have all the color work in the intarsia. But I think what I'm going to do is finish this back piece, and then I'm gonna jump ahead and do the sleeves so that those are done and out of the way. This is supposed to be knit on a US 4 and a US 6. I, for some reason, thought that I checked my needles. Didn't realize until I was halfway through this that my ribbing needles for this were actually a size 5, US 5, and not a 4. So once I do the front, I'm gonna do those in a 5 as the ribbing in a 5 as well, and then jump to the 6. But for the sleeves, since like those I can do differently, I will do the 4 like it's supposed to be. Silly mistake. The needles were just in the wrong slot, and like usually I check them, but I think I was just like, it was late, I was excited to cast on, I just cast on, I was like, it's fine. And then I realized later, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the right size, whoopsie doodle. But it's all good, it'll be fine. I knit the body, I'm doing the 3rd size, the 4th size. The 4th size, so that is for 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 47.5 inch, just because I like a little bit more positive ease in my sweaters. And the only mod that I've made thus far is I added an extra inch to the body length. Because I just did the officer sweater and that was done in pieces, I am using that as a guide for this one. So once I knit to the length that that the body was for that, and then I started the armhole shaping, I knew that like this sweater is gonna fit similar to that one, and I really love the fit of that one. It's like, that sweater fits me so well, it's kind of ridiculous. It's that sweater and my single malt are my 2 favorite fitting sweaters. Like, I love the way they fit. That's not true. I love, like, as a piece. Like, I've made a Montrealer, and that one is my most worn. I wear that thing all the time, and that, I just love the coziness of that because it's a little bit bigger. But as a sweater, like, I'm gonna put on a coat or something else over it. Those 2 are my best fitting. Oh, someone asked last time if I could show oh, it's gonna be this. So what the color is that it's gonna be for the intarsia. And so I'm gonna use this Bare Naked Wool in the Stone Soup DK. I've used this for something else, a hat or mittens maybe. And so these 2 I thought would look really good together. It would be a fun contrast. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So this, actually, you can just live with that now. That Stone Soup from Stone Soup DK from Bare Naked Wool will be the bolt that goes on the front of that sweater. All right, last up, this is crazy. The last thing I have to show you all is I was just, I don't know, sitting around, probably working on something else, and thought to myself, you know what I want to do? I want to cast on that handspun that took me 17 years to finally do. And so since it's the year of casting on all of the things, I decided that I was just gonna do that. So, one second. Of course, now I have to find the page. So, I am doing the Brioche Adventure wrap. Yeah, that's the name of it, by Jonathan Tallow. So it looks like this. And make sure that everything's still in the right order. Oh, or not, or just mix them up, it's fine. Okay, so what I did was, I took my Handspun and I started working on this. So I started with the main braid from the Advent. So this is a 3-ply. You all have seen this that I showed, and this is also a 3-ply. This was the one that was done first. It's a little more loosely plied. These both are the same color, except one was, they're both 3-plies as well. One is held with a dark gray and the other one is held with a light gray. So that's the only thing that's differing. It's about heavy fingering sport heavy fingering. These were my first 2 colors. I'll show you my next ones in a second. My next 2 went into them. Actually, you all, something funny. So because I don't know, like the pattern says that it's written, I think he did 16 repeats for his version. But it's written like for up to 24 minis. So I'm just gonna go until I think it's long enough, honestly. So I've only used 4 different colors. I'm weighing everything out so that I know how much I'm using if I need to go back and use more of the minis or the smaller skeins that I have. And so oddly enough, the 2 ones that I just showed you, when I weighed them, were both 100 grams even, which I was like, okay, that's kind of boss. Then the second color, I'm also working backwards in the Advent because of the way I like cast on, but that's neither here nor there. The next color I cast on was day 12. And this one was day 11. And what I'm gonna do is, and I'll show you in a second why this is making sense, is some of the colors seem a little bit similar. And I think that's just because of the way that I started the project. And so as I'm getting into using these smaller skeins, so this one was like, I don't know, 53, this one was like 56 maybe grams. I'm looking at the colors that I'm using and then I'm deciding if I'm gonna pull from the center or the outside since there's color variation in it. So like once I got to these 2, I decided, oh, it's looking a little muted. Let me start using this like bluish teal color as like the next repeat. Anyway, it'll start to make more sense. So here's where I am with that. It's not much, but it's something. I'm loving this. So this is crazy. It's definitely giving low contrast to start because like the colors are just super similar. But like when I'm looking at it, like I can see that this has the darker gray and then this has the lighter gray. And then on the reverse, I can see that, but the colors definitely, like the foreground and the background colors are very similar, which I actually don't care. I just think it's cool to be using the Handspun with it. But once we get into this area, now we're gonna see a little bit more color variation because I'm using that blue with that more darker color. So I think I'm just gonna keep doing that as the project goes on, so I get a little bit more color difference. This is brioche and garter. So you do like a brioche section, and then you have a second to do some garter, and then let's say you have A and B for this, and so you'll do your brioche, you'll do your garter with A and B, and then you'll drop A and you'll pick up C, and then B from section 1 ends up becoming your A for the next section, or the foreground color. Yeah, foreground. And then like your next color becomes the background color. And so like it keeps flipping that way as it goes along. What else can I say about this? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I will say that I thought I was going to be cool and cast on just like 4 extra stitches. I was like, oh, well, I'm using the Handspun. I want it to be a little bit wider, and yeah, that'll be fun. And you all, after one section, and then I got to the garter and I was reading the pattern, and it's like, whatever, you have to have, I don't know off the top of my head, let's say 120 stitches. I started counting to make sure that I had enough, and had completely forgotten that I'd added more. And I was like, oh my gosh, somewhere I picked up some extra stitches. So I just decreased. So now I am just doing what the pattern says, because without even thinking, I just got rid of the stitches that I added because I wanted it to be a little bit longer. And because it was only in that first section, it doesn't even matter. But I noticed it once I gotten further along. I was like, didn't I add more? Why am I at the right stitch count? And then I had a good laugh to myself while I was sitting on the couch, because I was like, oh, right, you got rid of them. Anywho, I think this is going to be really lovely. It's fun to just like be knitting with my Handspun. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind that it's low contrast for right now. Once I start playing with more of the colors, we will see where it goes. But like, I'm personally happy with it. I think it's going to be great. And because it's a little bit thicker, it's not that like superwash fingering weight. I think for the couple now, unless, things change, the few cold, like really cold days that we have here, this will make for a great little thing to just like bundle up with. So yeah, excited to keep going along with that and making some more progress on it over the next week. Yeah, the last thing that I really want to talk about is I think in the last episode, I was telling you all that I was going to go and take a sewing class, and I had my first lesson with a group of people, which ended up being really awesome, and I had a great time just like learning the things, right? Like sitting in the shop and like having them talk to us about like the stretch and the way that fabric works and how we're going to go about pinning things and cutting things and reading the pattern and all this kind of stuff. And then I had homework because I didn't finish cutting out the pieces for my pattern while we were there. And she was like, we're going to fold these up. You're going to go home. You're going to pin it out. You're going to cut everything. And then you'll bring it back for the next session. It's like, okay, cool. I stayed up because I procrastinated. So the classes are on Saturdays, and so I stayed up Friday night, like, because I work late on Fridays, and I got home and I ate dinner, and then was like, all right, it's time to cut out these pieces, and I cut out all the pieces, and then Saturday morning we got a phone call saying that our class was canceled because our teacher was sick, and so I was a little bit bummed about it, but I was like, well, at least I did the homework. And then this week, the poor teacher, she's still sick, so now we've missed 2, so yeah, the woman who called to let me know, I'm assuming she called everybody in the class, was like, we're gonna figure out like how to get you all in here to like make up these classes. And honestly, she's like, we may just start from the beginning and like give you all 4 classes again. And I was like, okay, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to sit down and learn with people. So when she's feeling better and y'all figure it out, let me know. As for now, I have all of my pieces cut out and they're just sitting in a bag waiting patiently for the day when we can go back and get into that class. I'm really excited about it. I follow a bunch of people on Instagram who, especially now in May, since it's, Me Made May, have been posting things that they've either just clothing that they've made for themselves. So I've been trying to keep like a little list of, I think those, like, these pants would look really cool, or that bag looks really neat. Just as like things I can purchase in the future to try to make once I feel like I have a better understanding of all of the things. So that's that. Hopefully by the time I see you all next, I will be back in the swing of things with that. And yeah, I'm hoping to get some more progress done in all of the makes that I'm currently working on, and yeah, getting out, enjoying the weather when I can, and just trying to be excited about the end of the school year and the start of summer. So with that being said, I hope the next 2 weeks bring you all some sort of joy, and you too have something fun to look forward to during this time of year. And until I see you all next time, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.